Hi, everyone. Let me introduce you to James and Sarah. As you can see, James and Sarah are a happy couple, and they live in San Francisco. But today, they're having a big fight. They're fighting because they just moved into this new apartment together, and they have too much stuff. Luckily, James and Sarah find out about Minimal. They see that Minimal is the easiest way to declutter their home. This sounds like it's exactly what they need, so they sign up. When they log in, they see how Minimal works, and they click the Get Started button. Now James and Sarah are creating their first pickup. They see that Minimal will pay them cash for high-end clothing, for books, and for electronics. And they see they can estimate the value of some of their items. So James clicks Estimate Item. He has an electronic. It's this Nintendo Wii. He can't use it anymore because he's moving in with Sarah. And James sees he can get $114 for this Nintendo Wii. That's more than he was expecting, so he's going to put that in the box. Now it's Sarah's turn. She has this textbook. It's left over from college. It's Italian Renaissance art. She hasn't used it in a year. Sarah sees that she can get $23 for this old textbook. She likes that, so it goes in the box. Sarah has another item. It's this top. It's a name brand. She types in Michael Kors. And she sees that Minimal will pay her for this top. And she sees she can get between $26 and $46 for this Michael Kors top. She'll take it. James and Sarah have a few other things. They have this whole stack of CDs that they're not using anymore. Those go in the box. And Sarah has all these shirts left over from her sorority when she was in college. Those go in the box too. Now for the CDs and the shirts, they have no resale value. So Minimal's not going to pay cash for these items. But what Minimal will do is donate them to charity on behalf of James and Sarah. They find some other things around the house. All these books. They're going to throw those in the box too. Now with Minimal, they don't have to itemize each thing. Minimal is going to sort it and pay them for what they can. So when James and Sarah are done estimating their items, we'll step back for a sec. So where does Minimal get these prices from? What Minimal's done is aggregate the prices and offers from third-party buyback services, so that when James and Sarah search for an item, Minimal is able to instantly find the highest possible price for that item, calculate a margin on it, and return up to 90% of that resale price to James and Sarah. So when James and Sarah are done, they click Next. They can order some more boxes from Minimal, but they have this one box of their own they're using, so they say no and click Next. Now they're going to schedule the pickup. They see the soonest available time is today at 7 p.m. They'll be home from work, so that's perfect. They click Next. Now they're taken to enter a card for the $20 pickup fee. $20 sounds reasonable. For James and Sarah, it looks like they'll be making money back on some of their items, so that sounds good to them. They click Schedule. So that's it. James and Sarah are confirmed. Minimal will be over tonight to pick up their things. So let's fast forward to this evening. They get a text message from Minimal. They click the link, and it opens in their mobile browser. They can see that Minimal's on their way, and they'll be there in 12 minutes. James and Sarah are having a great experience with Minimal so far. So let's fast forward 3 more days. James and Sarah are happy now. They're not fighting anymore. They love their new apartment. It's completely decluttered. And they get an email from Minimal. It's their pickup receipt. They see they're getting paid $168 cash for all their old clutter. And they scroll down and see that in addition to the cash, they have a downloadable donation receipt for $85. That's for everything else that got donated to charity. So they can download that receipt and use it on their taxes. Now, what James and Sarah love about Minimal is that they realize all the old stuff they got rid of, it was all clutter around the house that they had been meaning to get rid of for months. They just never got around to it because they didn't have a simple, easy, and convenient way to declutter. Now they do. Thanks. We're Minimal, and we're launching today in San Francisco.
OK, judges, thoughts on Minimal?
Could you go over that third-party buyback service again, how that works? It went too fast for me. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's many services online that for consumers that you can go to and sell back your electronics or your clothing and books. And so what Minimal's done is we've basically scoured those and aggregated those prices so that when we search for an item, we know which service is paying the current highest price for that item, and we can flip it to them. So we don't hold the inventory and sell it ourselves. We just flip it to these other services.
Oh, you flip it immediately?
Right.
So you got to have some margin there, right, to make money?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't the condition of the items matter in the pricing?
Absolutely. And when in our tool where the user is searching for an item, they select the condition, and then we evaluate the condition when we get it.
People lie, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So the way we handle that is that we track what the users are searching for. So if they say their iPhone's brand new and we get it and it's broken, then we can see that we quoted them a certain price and we're going to pay them less than that. So we let them know and they can see for each item.
Cool. Are you taking any inventory risk?
No. We only pay users for items that we know in our database. We know that we can sell them immediately. We can flip them immediately and not have to hold them.
But you are fronting the money to pay them, right? And then you are intending to then flip it to these other services.
So we give the users a quote, and we pay them in 2 weeks. And usually we get paid before that time.
OK.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, when you give the iPhone to a Gazelle or somebody, if they tell you this is only worth 45, do you then tell the user it's only worth 45, and do they have a chance to get it back?
So we take on risk in that situation where we get the iPhone and then we evaluate the condition.
Because you would have to send it all the way back 2 steps to them, or maybe 1, actually.
Right. So in that case, it's up to us to accurately send it to our third party and get the right price for it.
So what cities do you plan on expanding to? So you're launching in San Francisco. This seems like a very operationally intensive business.
Sure. So since we're just running beta in San Francisco, and first we're going to see if the model works. And we're trying to keep the process as lean as possible. So we just don't hold inventory. We're just flipping things right away, taking other stuff to charity. So in that way, in order to open in a new city, we really just need a small processing space and a couple drivers.
Great.
So
OK.
one last question.
Yeah.
So what is the margin that you have built in for these items?
So the way we calculate the margin is based on the vendor we're selling it to. So some vendors pay us faster than others. In a few cases for high-end clothing, it's a consignment basis. So we only get paid once that item sells. So in that case, we discount it like maybe 50%.
No. I mean, do you have like a 20% margin between the price that you sell it to the reseller and the price that you pay out?
Yeah, it's between 50%, basically 10% to 50% margin, depending on the vendor.
Great. Let's hear it for Minimal. Well done. Next up.